Nancy Pelosi's plane has entered Taiwan's air defense zone. Shortly, Nancy Pelosi is going to land in Taiwan. This, remember, has caused major ripples in the Indo-Pacific as the U.S. House Speaker is visiting Taiwan. She is going to be the first United States official to visit the country in 25 years. And ahead of this visit, there have been several raised eyebrows in China, where the country came out to warn the United States that this visit shall be seen as a violation of One China policy. 4 U.S. warships were seen patrolling near Taiwan, and now we are given to understand that Nancy Pelosi's plane has entered Taiwan's air defense zone. Joining us now is a journalist from Taiwan. Brian Huey is joining us on the broadcast. Thank you, sir, for joining us on Times Now. My first question to you is, what really is the mood on the ground in Taiwan right now over this impending visit of Nancy Pelosi?
So people are actually comparatively relaxed. I think this is because while much of the international world has reported on these threats directed at Taiwan from China, or the possibility of conflict between the US and China, Chinese threats towards Taiwan are actually nothing new. And so things are quite calm, things are very normal, life goes on. People are just going on with their everyday lives. So I think the Pelosi visit is welcomed as a show of support for Taiwan, but I also think that your average person on the street maybe just views it as another diplomatic visit, a sign of support, and doesn't view it as a kind of groundbreaking historical event. Though maybe if they read a news article, they will know that this hasn't occurred in 25 years, while people in policy circles are, of course, much more concerned with what is happening now.
So is there some sort of nervousness or apprehension amongst the Taiwanese about the muscle flexing that we have been seeing coming in from China so far?
So that's the other thing, that there is surprisingly not a lot of kind of focus on that among the general public. The news, for example, is still more focused on a plagiarism scandal by the one of the towering mayoral candidates, on dashcam footage, on the usual celebrity gossip and that sort of thing, rather than these stories about the Chinese military flexing. I think that's because, for example, even just last year when we saw a historic number of air incursions from Chinese fighter planes into Taiwan's air defense identification zone, that actually takes place at a distance from Taiwan. And it was so repetitive in some ways as a news item that people don't have a sense of developing threats that are increasing in danger, including with this Pelosi visit. And I think that's something that China has been unsuccessful with. There is Chinese drilling. There are Chinese naval vessels spotted off of Orchid Island, which is one of Taiwan's outlying islands. And China announced the import block of 100 food items from Taiwan. But these attempts to economically pressure Taiwan, they're noticed, but I don't think it causes panic in the streets either.
Also give us a perspective on whether Taiwanese perceptions about America and how it has been saying that it is going to pledge to protect its interests have changed over the course of last few years?
So I think that's the thing, actually. For example, if there had been a backing down of the Pelosi visit, then there would have been the perception that America would back down in the face of Chinese threats. After the visit was announced and then Biden said it was a bad idea publicly, that they differentiated from each other in their public statements, Pelosi and Biden, despite being of the same party, that already is kind of an issue. And I think Biden perhaps should not have said that out loud. But then if Pelosi had not come, if, for example, if she had actually not come as a result of China's threatening all these things and its military flexing, that'd be seen as American weakness. The Republican hawks in the U.S. have used this to seize on this as a way to kind of push for the Pelosi visit. And I think Pelosi is driven by trying to carry out this visit because of wanting to be tough on China with elections coming up later this year in the U.S. But in that sense, I think that it's one of those things that if it actually didn't occur, probably at this point in Taiwan, there'd be those that use this to claim, well, the U.S. is not so reliable.